How long can a narcissist live without you? There is something unsettling about a narcissist's ability to seemingly move on from relationships with ease. They present themselves as self-sufficient, as if their entire world revolves around their own ego and admiration from others. But the truth is, beneath this facade of confidence lies a deep vulnerability. You may have left a narcissist behind, but can they live without you? Can they truly survive without the constant supply of validation, admiration, and control that they get from their relationships? It might seem, on the surface, that a narcissist is perfectly capable of moving on to someone else quickly, but the reality is far more complex. The truth is that while narcissists may appear unaffected or even relieved after a relationship ends, there are significant emotional and psychological consequences they struggle to manage. The deeper question becomes, how long can they go without the narcissistic supply they crave so much? The answer is layered, and it speaks to the very nature of their emotional instability. In this video, we will explore the fascinating and often troubling reality of a narcissist's ability to live without their partner. We'll uncover how they cope with the emotional void left behind when you exit their life, what their immediate reactions might look like, and whether they can truly ever move on from you in the way that they think they can. By the end, you'll understand not only the narcissist's emotional needs, but also how you can regain your power after breaking free from their control. Before we dive into the discussion, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video like this. If you find this video helpful, give us a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might be struggling with a narcissistic relationship. The more we share this kind of information, the more people we can help navigate these challenging dynamics. Understanding the narcissist's dependency on narcissistic supply. The first thing to understand about narcissists is their overwhelming need for what's called narcissistic supply. This term refers to the constant need for attention, admiration, validation, and emotional reinforcement that a narcissist requires to feel good about themselves. Without this supply, their sense of self-worth becomes fragile, and they begin to feel empty, lost, and incomplete. A narcissist does not have a stable, intrinsic sense of self. Instead, their identity is constructed through the validation they receive from external sources, whether that's from relationships, social media likes, professional success, or even manipulating others for attention. In essence, their self-esteem is built on a shaky foundation of other people's opinions, and when you remove yourself from their life, you take away a crucial piece of their sense of self. The question, then, becomes, how long can a narcissist last without their supply? At first glance, it may seem that narcissists can bounce back quickly. They may move on to new relationships almost immediately, showering their new partners with affection, as if nothing has happened. This new person becomes their next source of narcissistic supply, and for a while, everything seems fine. But this isn't necessarily a sign of true emotional recovery. Instead, it is often a temporary fix to stave off the pain they feel from losing you and the supply you provided. The immediate fallout: can they function without you? Once the relationship ends, the narcissist is thrust into a state of emotional imbalance. They may appear unaffected, even relieved on the surface. However, underneath, they are grappling with the loss of control over you and the emotional void that you once filled. This is when the narcissist's true nature starts to show. They may try to replace you quickly, hopping from one person to another in a desperate attempt to regain their sense of control and validation. For a narcissist, the breakup is not an invitation for self-reflection. They are incapable of introspection in the way a healthy person might be. Instead, they react with anger, frustration, and a need to prove that they are better off without you. However, No matter how quickly they latch onto someone new, there's a part of them that can't truly function without you, even if they never openly admit it. The narcissist's desperation to find a new source of supply is not simply about replacing you, it's about surviving emotionally. Their egos are fragile, and without validation from others, they risk falling into deep emotional distress. This can manifest in various ways, including depression, irritability, and a general sense of emptiness. In the absence of a stable supply, a narcissist's behavior becomes increasingly erratic and unpredictable. So, how long can they last? The answer varies. For some, the need for supply is so overwhelming that they may turn to anything that can temporarily fill that void, be it another relationship, a fleeting fling, or even material pursuits like gaining status or recognition. However, this is just a surface-level fix, and sooner or later, they'll need more. The period of desperation, how they react when they can't find immediate supply. As narcissists struggle to replace you, there comes a period of desperation. They may experience a sharp drop in their emotional state, feeling the sting of rejection more intensely than they'd like to admit. While a narcissist's outward reaction is often one of defiance or anger, internally they are consumed by the loss of the attention, admiration, and control they once had. This period of desperation can manifest in several ways. Some narcissists may go through what's known as a narcissistic collapse, a temporary breakdown where they lose the ability to maintain the confident, grandiose persona they typically project. During this time, they might try to hoover you back into their life, using guilt, manipulation, or false promises to regain the emotional supply you once provided. They may flood you with messages, try to re-establish contact under the guise of concern, or attempt to make you feel responsible for their emotional well-being. But it's important to remember that their desire to reconnect with you is not driven by love or genuine affection. Instead, it's a desperate attempt to reclaim the supply you once gave them. Their fear of abandonment and rejection is so strong that they will resort to any means necessary to avoid feeling powerless or invisible. How long can they truly live without you? The narcissist's ability to live without you is not simply a matter of time. It's about the level of narcissistic supply they can replace you with and how long that replacement can sustain them. For some, they can find a new source of supply relatively quickly, another person to admire them, validate their worth, or serve their emotional needs. However, no matter how many new people they bring into their lives, the narcissist will always compare these new sources to the one they lost. They may find temporary satisfaction, but they will always struggle to recreate the dynamic they had with you, and that lingering sense of inadequacy will begin to affect their behavior. In the long run, a narcissist can live without you for as long as they can maintain a steady flow of narcissistic supply from someone or something else. However, as time goes on, and they fail to truly replace the connection you had, their emotional stability begins to deteriorate. They may turn to destructive behaviors, impulsive decisions, risky behaviors, or even self-sabotage, as they try to regain their former sense of control. Ultimately, while a narcissist might appear to function without you, the reality is that they cannot live without constant admiration, validation, and ego reinforcement. If they fail to replace the supply you once provided, they will struggle to maintain their emotional equilibrium. They are emotionally dependent on others to feel whole, and without that external reinforcement, their self-esteem continues to erode. Moving on and regaining your power. When you leave a narcissist, it's natural to wonder how they will cope, especially considering how much they relied on you for emotional validation, admiration, and support. You may have been the constant source of their narcissistic supply, the one who fed their ego and fulfilled their emotional needs. So, it's understandable to be concerned about what happens to them once you're no longer a part of their life. The truth is, while narcissists may appear to move on quickly and find other sources of supply, their emotional health is often in a state of turmoil after the relationship ends. Narcissists, at their core, are emotionally unstable individuals who rely heavily on external validation to feel good about themselves. They are like emotional vampires, constantly needing others to feed their sense of importance and self-worth. Without that constant stream of attention and admiration, they feel lost and empty inside. However, even though they may not show it outwardly, the emotional chaos they experience can be significant. Their inability to self-soothe or deal with emotions in a healthy way makes it difficult for them to truly process the loss. Instead, they may lash out, manipulate, or engage in other toxic behaviors to try to regain a sense of control and power over their situation. As you continue on your journey of reclaiming your independence and rebuilding your life after leaving a narcissist, it's crucial to remember that you are no longer the emotional source that was propping up their fragile ego. By stepping away from the relationship, you have freed yourself from the relentless cycle of manipulation, gaslighting, and control that narcissists thrive on. This is a huge step toward reclaiming your mental and emotional well-being. You no longer have to bend to their needs or be dragged down by their emotional instability. You've taken back the power they tried to steal from you. And now you have the opportunity to rediscover who you are outside of their influence. While it might be tempting to feel sympathy for the narcissist's struggles after the breakup, it's important to keep in mind that their emotional difficulties are a reflection of their own internal instability, not a reflection of your worth. Their inability to cope with the end of the relationship is not your fault, and it does not diminish your value in any way. Narcissists are driven by a deep insecurity that can never truly be satisfied, and their emotional health will always be compromised as long as they continue seeking validation from others. You, on the other hand, deserve to be in a relationship where you are cherished, valued, and loved for who you truly are, not for how much you can sacrifice or how much emotional labor you can give to another person. As you focus on your healing and recovery, remember that the narcissist's dependency on others will continue. They will likely try to find a new source of supply to replace you, just as they have done in past relationships. However, no matter how many new people they try to bring into their lives, their ability to find true fulfillment will always be shallow and fleeting. Their relationships are often built on a foundation of superficiality, where admiration and control are prioritized over genuine emotional connection. Even when they find a new person to admire them, they will never experience the depth of love, respect, and emotional security that you could have offered. In the long run, your opportunity for true emotional fulfillment is far greater. As you move forward, you have the chance to create a life filled with love that is healthy, mutual, and rooted in respect. You have the ability to nurture relationships where your needs are met, where you are appreciated for your authentic self, and where emotional security is not just a fleeting illusion, but a lasting reality. These are things that a narcissist can never truly offer because they are incapable of genuine emotional connection. They can only offer temporary attention and validation, which ultimately leaves them, and their partners, feeling empty and unsatisfied. As you continue to rebuild your life, know that the strength you're gaining through this healing process is a reflection of your own resilience and self-worth. You are no longer bound to someone who took more from you than they ever gave. You are free to pursue the relationships, the passions, and the life you deserve, one that honors your true worth and allows you to thrive without constantly having to feed someone else's insatiable emotional needs. You have the power to create a future filled with the love, respect, and emotional stability that you've always deserved, and that is something that no narcissist can ever provide. Let go of the idea that the narcissist's emotional struggles are your responsibility. They will find other ways to survive, but they will never know the peace, fulfillment, and genuine connection that you are now free to create for yourself. You have broken free from the toxic cycle, and as you heal, you will discover a life full of joy, balance, and mutual love, things the narcissist will never experience. Continue to nurture yourself, and remember that the life you are building now is one of empowerment, self-love, and real connection. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We are dedicated to providing content that helps you understand the dynamics of narcissistic relationships and how to break free from their toxic grip. You deserve to live a life free from manipulation and emotional turmoil. Take care of yourself, and remember that your peace and happiness come from within, not from anyone else's validation.